welcome back to the outside of the shed for another build. It's going to be something a bit different this month. A small, less complicated build, less flaff. I don't have much time. The weather's not great, and it's actually something that I need. So it's going to be useful, and critically it's going to be road based. It's curly bars, the dark side, road biased. It's still retro, but it is a road build. But you won't notice anything different. We'll still stick to our usual standards. No changes. Like I said, normal shed build, very ridiculous roady nonsense here. This is sorry about that. I always have a single speed road bike for nipping around town, and the one I've had a Roberts frame for a while. It was lovely, but it was always that bit too short. So with spring on the way, I was like, all right, I got to sort this out. I've got to get a new one. So set my sights to the cheaper end of the market, and there's always a frame that their graphics, their 80s frames, the graphics look great. These boys here, Peugeot. I picked this up from a lovely gentleman in Hove. He'd had it for years and been meaning to build it up. And I'm hoping I can turn this into a single speed using most of the parts I've already got. Let's have a look at it. I guess the first thing to note is that it is cheap gas pipe steel. It's not the worst, but it's not Reynolds, even 501 sort of bottom of the market. It was a very much a catalogue bike, but you know, look at the graphics. So redolent of its time. I won't be keeping any of these bits on it, so sort of no real point thinking about them. The reason I purchased it was because of these dropouts. There is high hopes that I can find a ratio to get this single speeder without a tensioner. If we have to use a tensioner, so be it, but I've generally always been able to get away without one. It's also a shame when you have to take these off because you're left with the bosses. I always think about maybe cutting them off, but don't quite get around to it. But we'll keep some bits, like the stem, obviously, and the seat post. But everything else, I'm going to get around to just taking off and stripping it down to a bare frame, giving it clean, and offering some bits up. It shouldn't be too complicated. Simplex derailleur. That'd actually make quite a decent tensioner. How about this for a bit of cost cutting? No Allen bolts here. I've learnt my lesson with these brake cables when I did that Saracen, but leave that in place and then pull the new one through. So that one won't be coming out. Little bits of plastic nonsense never come out in one piece. Very pleased to say that after 10 minutes of fiddling with that one, the one on the other side, it's just unscrewing. There we go. That's alloy, all alloy. And actually these are removable bolts. So there's a chance, I mean it is very, very soft. There's a chance they could have a second life somewhere, otherwise in the recycling. That does not feel smooth at all. Look at these bearings. See what's going on inside there. I think it's not like your usual Shimano quality ones. Probably stick a cartridge bearing in there. I don't think this one's tight. Move the frame to the floor, got a little bit more leverage on it, and I think, yeah, she's coming. That wasn't too bad, and the threads are in pretty good condition. This side doesn't want to come out without persuasion, and actually the bearings are in, or they just need a proper greasing. I'll probably just leave that in place and carry on using it. It's a pocket money build, so I don't want to get involved in trying to spending hours getting that out. There she comes. Lovely. A few of these old narrow curly bars. I want to put flat bars on this, so these will be going, and I don't know what to do with them. I think maybe I'll mount them upside down on the wall. Use them as racks for storing handlebars and stuff. We'll find a use, but first of all, I've got to try and wiggle it out of that little clamp there.
Broke the tripod that used to film this, and then cut my finger.
Well, that's that. Minor disaster averted. Plaster on my finger. Cup of tea. But I think the tripod I used to make these silly films is broken. So, after the rest of it, that one. Whilst we're on the subject, I need, I think I need to get 500 subscribers to enable the videos to be sort of pushed more on YouTube as Watch Next. And likes really matter. So this is why everyone says, say, please like and subscribe. And I'm guilty of not liking and subscribing. So if this is the sort of thing that does interest you, or even help you get to sleep, then I'm trying to do one build a month. I've kept it up since November. Maybe chuck in a few more shorts of little things. It's got to be something interesting though, if it's happening. So yeah, do subscribe and do remember to press like, because it feeds the behemoth and gets the videos served up, because goodness knows what you're searching to watch this. Anyway, yeah, thanks for that. Back to it.
The worst. Loose ball bearings and headset cup.
So that's the frame all stripped down. Minor injuries aside, it was all pretty straightforward. It is incredibly cheaply built. The way that's bit of steel has just been sort of ground out there. But, you know, it'll do the job. Flitting about the south coast as a single speed. So I'll give this a clean up. Double check for any cracks or excess rust, but I'm pretty sure there aren't any. This slot will just go in the aluminium bin, I think. And then we'll pull some bits out and work out how to put it back together, which is the more fun part. So all the bearings have over there. Come up nicely. Bearing surfaces all good. On the frame here. And the frame itself is in good condition. There is some corrosion here, but not too worried about it because it's very thick, heavy steel. Let's get these forks back in. And then the next problem, oh yeah, and the axle, is getting the chain line sorted. So these are my cranks of choice, custom, with a 50 tooth chainring because it makes me look hard. You can see how much chunkier they are than the ones that I've taken off. These are very flimsy. This is much better at handling the immense power of a single speed. So quick bit of water sole, get those polished up and slung on the frame. So that is set right forward, and broadly speaking, I think I'll join it there and hope that by pushing the wheel back, that will tension enough. Bars wise, pulled these off the shelf, 680mm wide, so I probably will cut them down for use on the street, but we can deal with that. About 25mm rise, maybe a little bit of back sweep, but yeah, bars you can change out, so just something to mock it up. Got these Dior levers and more up-to-date Tektro brakes off my previous single speed. Just one thing I have to do, of course, is, because they are modern brakes, they have a recessed bolt. It won't go through there, and the thread isn't long enough, so I need to just take a drill to that. Slight annoyance. The rear brake, I don't think, I'm very good at this right stuff, I don't think that the caliper is long enough. I've tried it, it doesn't quite long enough to hit the rim properly. So the parts bin, I've got other brakes, but then I'll take the front one off and make them matching. So I'll probably go with silver brakes. That's nearly done. That really is it for such a simple bike. Great fun projects these are, because they are so few parts. I've got this lovely Campagnolo and Mavic wheel, which I bought a while back, and it just spins forever. Finishing kit, got a white STG Bel Air 2. Shame it's got the green bits. I noticed actually they're swappable. I've thrown away previous black ones, so that's a shame. But yeah, that white one on there is knackered.
some lightly used death grips, yellow, a red Elite bottle cage, probably period correct, and these, ignore the rust, that is just the pins that came off a bike that I bought for someone they kept outside on the seafront. The pins will be replaced, they're only a few quid. It's a Neat Proof Horizon pedal. Those are there, and then that's it, done. The last thing to do on this build is just trim these bars. These are 690, which is far too wide for this kind of riding. I like these pipe cutter tools for alloy bars. Because I'm not very accurate with a hacksaw. Ta-da!
Bring the Peugeot out for a spin, and what are the take homes? The bars are too wide, need a trim, was on the cards. Gearing's brutal, but you know, get fitter. Everything else, good. Our brakes are appalling. But yeah, so thanks for this slight distraction away from the normal. Hope it hasn't been too painful. It's despite the blue skies behind us, it's been crap in the UK recently. It's not been conducive to elaborate bike building, but we got some great plans for this year, so looking forward to those. You won't be disappointed. Normal service will be resumed. The finished product won't be a long one. I changed the saddle. It's quite a short bike, so you tend to sort of sit on this bit of the saddle, and these Gobi wing flexors are really, really nice if you sit towards the rear, so that makes it super comfortable. It's just that bit too wide, probably another 30mm off and they'll be perfect. And I still need to straighten that chainring. But there you go. Let's think about it. The frame and stem and seat posts and stuff was 25 quid. I think I've picked parts up over the years, probably, I'd say, if it's 100 quid, I'd be surprised. Maybe 100 quid all in. And key to this is I will use it. It's all my other bikes I build have to be sold to get the next one going, but this is actually something I use just for a quick spin out in the evenings. You can get a proper 25.4mm seat post with all of the proper clamps, so you don't have to have these awful looking bolt-on clamps. They do 24mm. They do exist, but they're about 30 quid. I'm not sure if I'm 30 quid bothered. Maybe one day. Peugeot done.